let me ask you, as a man who runs a business, who wants to be a present and involved father, where do you fit into this whole equation? You see, as an individual myself who has 3 children, who runs a business, I asked that very same question to myself, and the answer was not very satisfactory because I didn't know. I didn't know where I existed in this whole formula of business and life and parenting and relationships. And I'm willing to bet that you struggle with this as well. A similar response, which is, I don't know. And the thing about being a business owner is we got into business for the freedom, for the flexibility, for the ownership, to be able to do our thing. But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen for men who run businesses, and especially our single fathers. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to break down the process and really explain it, the 3 main elements of your business and your life that you need to be focusing on so that you can come back to the very beginning in getting into business and having the freedom and the flexibility to be a dad, to be a partner, to be a business owner, to be a friend, to be active, whatever your heart desires, whatever success looks like to you, is having it in all areas of life, not just in business, because that's where we get stuck. And so I'm going to give you 3 key elements, and then we're going to have a plan on how to really implement them. And I got to tell you, for myself, I'm just like you. I've been in your shoes. I've been stressed and overwhelmed and wondering, how am I going to actually do all of this wearing the main hat of, I'm going to serve everyone else. I'm going to serve my kids. I'm going to serve my employees. I'm going to serve my customers. I'm going to serve my partner, romantic partner. I'm going to take care of everyone else, forgetting about me. So let's flip that script. Let's make sure that the narrative is you taking care of you first, so that you can show up with a greater level of power and purpose for your family, for your customers, for your employees, for the world at large. Okay, so 3 core elements. The first and foremost is we have to get out of the employee mindset as business owners. And you may be thinking, I've been a business owner for 10 years, Cletus, 15 years, however long you've been a business owner. I get it. I'm willing to bet that if you're struggling with having success in all areas of life, you are still operating from an employee mindset. Now, this video is not to dig into how we got that way. It's most likely, if you're like me, I didn't grow up with any entrepreneurs to mirror. My parents weren't entrepreneurs. I didn't know any entrepreneurs. And so I had to figure this all out on my own. And the challenge behind that is we have a society and an educational system that does a good job of turning out employees. And that's great. That's amazing. Some people want to be employees. We need employees. But you chose a different route. You chose to be a business owner. And in doing that, you have to have a different foundation, different mindset. It's not getting up, going to work, working 8, 10 hours, coming home, then sending some more emails late at night, going to bed, rip and repeat. That's not how you're going to show up as the highest version of yourself and the best version for your customers, for your employees, for your family. You took a risk that not many have in starting a business and running a business, however long you've been doing it. So we need to get out of this employee mindset. And it's important, before we go any further, is just becoming aware that that exists. That, oh, right, if you are getting up in the morning, showering, commuting, going to work, taking sales calls, managing employees, taking meetings, coming home, 5, 6 o'clock, whatever, maybe 7 o'clock, you are operating from an employee mindset. Now, I get it. You have a lot of stuff to do in your job. However, it's probably a good indicator that you are operating, and I love sports analogies. So as a former athlete, former professional and world champion athlete, I always look at it from a sports angle. If you can imagine a professional sports organization, if you are there, if you're in the business and you're taking the calls and you're managing employees and you're pushing the paper and you're doing all this, you're most likely an athlete. You're on the field, you're playing and participating. And we need athletes, but that's not you. So what business owners often do is then they kind of graduate to being the coach. Now I'm gonna be on the field still. I'm gonna have my hands in. I'm gonna orchestrate and manage it. I'm gonna manage the employees. I'm gonna manage the athletes. You're still on the field, and you're still working 8, 9, 10 hours a day, whatever it may be. We want you to, and I'm gonna skip a couple levels. We're gonna have you graduate. We ultimately want to get you to be the owner of the franchise, the owner of your company. The owner is up in the booth. Owner is pulling a few strings with those people who are in place to help run the organization and run the team on the field. That's where you want to be. So you're most likely an athlete or a coach at this level if you're in it each and every day. And by doing so, you got a lot of stuff going on. You're a dad. And you got to take care of you. That's where we are going with this. So step number 1 is we have to graduate from being an athlete on the field to being the owner. We want to be up in the suite of the stadium overseeing. We want to be in the big seat, being able to operate and obviously at some level still providing your direction. However, you are not on the field stressing yourself, working out. You are focusing on your fulfillment, purpose, your passion, those things that are most important to you. That's why you started a business in the first place. Okay, number 2, what that's going to require is systems. This is something I struggled with for so long in my life. I had the drive, I had the passion, I had the discipline. I just didn't have the systems. The systems in place to ensure, number 1, that you govern yourself. Because I get it. You may love what you do. You may want to get involved and be part of it. And you have to govern yourself and recognize that that's not where you are. That's not the hat and the role that you are playing. Know your role, do your job. My old high school football coach used to say that to us all the time. Know your role, do the job. Your role is to be the owner in the suites, operating, pulling strings. But you need systems in place in order to do that. Now, depending on where you're at in your business, those systems may look a bit different. But I'm talking about systems for managing you and your life. Your morning needs to have structure around it. And if you need help with your morning, by all means, if you go to cletuscoffey.com/morning, I've got a whole cheat sheet. It's 5 basic hacks for investing in you, in your morning, so you can master your mornings, you can master your day, and master your life. It's very transformative. It's something I implemented in my life, and it absolutely transformed it. cletuscoffey.com/morning. So what I mean is having the structure and the discipline I didn't have. And I was just flying by the seat of my pants, being reactionary. Now you may say, I do have structure. Cletus, I've got my management team. I have my books being done. I've got people involved. I get it. And systems for you in your life. We're talking about you. This is self-mastery. I'm not teaching you necessarily how to be a business owner. There's a plethora of business coaches and executive coaches that can help you with stuff like that. Do we incorporate a lot of that into the Be the Torch program? Absolutely. But I'm talking about my core of what I do is self-mastery. We want you to master yourself so you can show up with a torch ablaze, powerful, so that you can be the best version of yourself and show up in power for your family, for your children, for your employees, for your customers, and beyond. So you need systems in place, systems in your calendar, systems to make sure that you are getting your mental work in. You are growing and developing your emotional intelligence, that you're developing your business skill set. What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? How are you incorporating that into your day-to-day life? Your health and well-being. Your body goes with you everywhere. My man, so you got to take care of this. If you're showing up overweight and sick and not feeling good, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. So where are your systems in place to ensure that you are moving your body, you're exercising, you're eating right, you're taking care of yourself. If you need help with those systems, by all means, that's what we're here to help you do. So number 2 is having systems in your life to ensure that you can optimize your time. You can show up as the business owner in the shortest amount of time. And if you're saying, hey, I got to work 8, 10 hours a day, awesome. Let's get you down to just 8. And let's get you down to 6. Same amount of work, let's get you down to 4 hours a day. There's no way, Cletus, I can work 4 hours a day. If that's your mindset, if that's the way you're thinking, then this is not the right video nor the right program for you. It's systemizing your life so that you can optimize your time and your day to ensure that you can find the fulfillment, passion, purpose, the happiness in your life in all areas. Number 3, speaking of purpose, you as a masculine, high-performing, driven man are mission focused. You may not realize it, but you have been on a mission for your entire life. And that mission has evolved and changed over time. But ultimately, you're working towards your core purpose. And I can tell you, as someone who's evolved, I tell you, when I first, what we're doing right here, I first started this doing financial literacy. I thought I was going to teach people finance. Problem was, I didn't know anything about money. So it was hard for me to teach people about money when I didn't know anything about money. So I had to learn and grow, do that first. I then got into, so from there, I realized I was just chasing money in the first place. That's the only reason why I got into it. Once I realized that that is not the way to live and how to run a business by chasing money directly. It's a byproduct of the value and the service that we provide and the alignment that our business has with our core purpose. So each iteration I went was getting me closer and closer to that purpose. And it's going to continue to grow and evolve from where we're at right now. But this is the closest I've been to my core because it's authentically, it's me. Like, this is what you're getting, dude. This is me. We're very much like each other. Fathers, I'm a single father. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an athlete. I like to compete. I like to get outside. I like to meditate and connect to a higher power. There's so much of that I'm sure we can resonate with on some levels. Your core purpose, you're mission driven. However, the mission gets foggy because we think being busy is mission focused. We think making money is mission focused. But with so many men, the examples out there are endless of dudes just like you who are mission driven to go make money, whose relationships are broken or gone, or they're suffering tremendously. Their connection with their children is diminished, gone, or not fully present. And by that, I mean giving your full self. Imagine you could spend 3 hours a day with your kids like I used to do. I was dropping off, I was picking up, taking them to practice, I was coaching their teams. And don't get me wrong, I loved it. Challenge was, while I was out there driving and coaching, and I was worrying and thinking about my mission in the background, I hadn't put myself in alignment with my core purpose of what I was here to do and had systems around it. So ultimately, what I know now is I and they would have benefited from if I had less time with them, but it was fully present, fully connected. Maybe I was just there coaching rather than picking up, dropping off, hustling back and forth. I didn't know any different. I was just who I was at that time. What I know now is having a core purpose is different than being busy in just our mission. And so the third element of this is you got to get clear on that purpose, and it requires a lot of patience and vision and feeling. It's not like you're going to think yourself into a purpose. It's not like you go get a degree to get closer to your purpose. Dude, this is an internal game. And the more you sit with yourself and the more you vision and connect with the feelings that you want to have when you're in the flow of living your life purpose, like what does it feel like? And better connecting with those now before you have them is going to help bubble up in the present moment what feels right for you, what actions you need to take, and you can surrender to those actions. So quick recap. Number one, we have to get out of that employee mindset when we are running and operating and owning a business. We have to think like owners, not like athletes or even like coaches. The next step is being systematized, having systems in place for your life to ensure that the things that are most important to you, and I break it out into the Power 5 of personal culture and in the Be the Torch program. And it's the psychology, that's the mindset, the emotional intelligence, physiology, which is your health and wellness, your body, your people, your relationships with your children, relationship with a romantic partner, with your employees, etc. Your profits, that's your money. Yes, you're in business to pay yourself and pay yourself a lot. And then lastly, purpose, making sure you are connecting to a higher power to help align you with your core purpose so that all the people in your life, especially you show up fully aligned in power, your torch ablaze. You do that, you are going to attract the romantic partners, the relationships, the opportunities for business, the customers, and most importantly, you're gonna have a thriving relationship with your children who can see the true and authentic you. This, my brother, is leaving a legacy that people can see, especially your children, you as an example of what is possible. My friends, if you're ready to join a brotherhood of dudes just like you, single fathers, entrepreneurs, care about taking care of themselves, want to find fulfillment, happiness, purpose in their life. Basically, they want to create a life that their business fits into, not a business where we try to sprinkle money to help aid the other areas of our lives. If that is you, then the Be the Torch Academy is a great place for you to begin the journey within our community. It's a brotherhood of men just like you who are A, being held accountable, B, holding themselves accountable, and C, it's a community of men that we need to help grow each other so that we can show up as the true, authentic, on fire selves, master of selves, what I'm trying to say, so that we can make the impact and make the income that you desire and you deserve. If you go to bethetorch.com/academy waitlist, get on the waitlist for the launch of our next program. We do 4 throughout the year, each quarter. When the next one opens, if you get on the list, your priority for being first in line to getting into the next program. My friends, thank you for listening. Go out there, be an example of what is possible.